The Cheese is Cheese, episode 11 of the Overcharge Bible. Overcharge has a lot of misconceptions and people that think they know what's going on and do not about it. So I'm going to walk you through, some of the programming and explaining why and how Overcharge works. So Overcharge is a minimum damage of 1250 and a max of 15,000. And every 6 energy spent, it deals 1 damage. And another little quirk is you can only use 90% of your storage unless there's one little niche case where that breaks. So that niche case is when you're at, oh, excuse me, when you're at 70, in between 7,500 and 8,333, because the minimum damage overrides the energy multiplier and the cost of over and the energy required. So this trumps, this is king energy. This energy required here on line 805, and so let me just show you. 7,600 energy. You should only be able to spend 0.9 of it on overcharge, but you see here, I spent all of it except the 100 extra because I can't get to 7,500 exactly because I'm using Sparkies for the e-storage. And the other little tricks and nuances, some of the other ones are the ACU will only do 400 damage on overcharge to other ACUs. You see here, that's 400 plus the one shot that you have to shoot. And here, Triad, 2,200 HP. 100 damage plus the 100 from the regular shot that comes after. Point is that you will only spend what is required to kill the target. So my storage a little bit. I have tons of excess storage and generation now, so I should be able to do the full 15,000 damage. See, I only do the what's needed to kill the target, and this also applies to doing the minimum damage to ACUs and structures. So this means if the minimum damage is 1250 and the energy ratio is it takes 6 points of energy to 1 damage, this means your overcharge will cost between 7,500 and 90,000 energy. And this, creates a scale, some max damage, some breakpoints, etc. And this is what I'll be going into here on this spreadsheet here. So because you only can spend 90% of your storage on overcharge, I just create a little scale of, this is the amount of storages you have. This is the resultant energy storage plus your ACU. This is just the minimum. And then this is the amount of energy you can spend on overcharge. And this is the amount of damage you can do. So you see, with two storages, you can do 3,600 damage, and it scales up. And this, and then you can take that to the next step of okay, at T2, the most tanky unit is an Ilshaba. So how many storages do I need to start killing an Ilshaba? And you're at this level 2. And how many Ilshis can I kill? So I have 3 storages. I can kill 2 Ilshabas, assuming flat energy, and it scales up. And then T3, next point, brick, same thing. That's the unit with the most health, 7,500. It takes 5 energy storages to get 1 kill, and you can't kill 2 bricks until you get to 10 energy storage, assuming flat energy. Um, I also failed to mention little quirks about mobile shields too. You can, if you do enough damage to deplete a mobile shield, it will destroy that shield. But because I, but the little quirk is you can't overcharge the shield itself because the shield has a very low health pool, so it's trying to do the damage for the shield's unit health and not its actual health. You see here that I overcharged that, completely destroyed the shield and killed the unit. That's the little quirk on shield. And this stationary shields count as structures. So a stationary shield, I'll only do 800 too. So you see that was 800 damage plus the regular shooting. It won't do the 15,000. Okay, so this also lets you figure out another step of, okay, my overcharge cooldown is on 3.3 seconds. So, how much energy production do I need to be able to spend 6,750 energy to do 1,100? Excuse me, to do, this is the minimum of 1,250. To do how much energy production do I need to get 12,600 energy every 3.3 seconds to constantly manually overcharge at a certain level? And you get, this column here, and you see that it scales up pretty high. That you need for a ACU manually overcharging, you would need something like this much production, 27,500 energy to support it. This, really reinforces that, when a teammate is in the shit fighting T3s and ACUs, you need to be feeding him energy constantly. And also reinforces that, getting an extra overcharge every 3.3 seconds is it's better to have storages. You should have like 10 to 30 storages in the late T4 stage. And this much if you want to manually overcharge for max damage every 3.3 seconds. You need this many PGens to, it costs 18,000 to auto overcharge every 5 seconds, which is the cooldown on it. And you need this many PGens for a Saku for Seraphim to do the same thing. But generally with Saku for Seraphim, you want to build something like this for each SACU, because this will give you the storage with the energy. And this is why overcharge at SACUs are so expensive. Like it's ridiculous how much energy and storage you need to actually support them, or else if you only have 100 or 200,000 storage, they're going to be fighting for each other, and then each subsequent overcharge will be doing so much less damage. Yeah, that is pretty much the Overcharge Bible. You only spend as much energy as you need. 1250 damage to 15,000 damage. Here is the amount of damage you'll do with each amount of energy storage. It goes up 1500 damage each energy storage. And here are some useful breakpoints for the most tanky T2 and T3 units and how many you need and how many you can kill with each amount of storage and bricks. And also, I mean, it has AoE too, but everyone should know that it shows on the icon. And this AoE does not and this AoE I think does the charges the highest unit hit. So you see, I targeted the pillar there, so it should have been very cheap, but because it hit the chicken, it did full damage. It cost full energy. So you can't, cheat the system by overcharging weak units and getting free damage because the calculation is done on impact.